Me again. Do you suppose Beachhead and Mainframe escaped certain doom in the crumbling castle of Vlad Tepes, aka Dracula, in Romania, aka Transylvania? If you supposed yes, you supposed correctly. But what you may not have predicted was them diving for safety inside a stone coffin. My first impression of Beachhead wasn't entirely positive, but if these are the sorts of decisions we can expect from him, I gotta say, the guy's already growing on me. Meanwhile in Russia, the Joe team, which now includes 2 snow guys because I guess 1 snow guy wasn't enough, and the October Guard, these guys again, continue fighting Cobra's battle android troopers at the tomb of Ivan the Terrible. And while this Cobra dude goes after his DNA, this sound effect from Star Trek plays. This is the same sound I've set to alert me of DMs from Twitter, and I am embarrassed to admit just how long it took me to figure out that the sound was coming from the show and not from my computer. I was like a dog chasing his goddamn tail. Anyway, yeah, that's even more DNA obtained, leaving the current score Cobra 7 or 8 or 10, I lost count, but G.I. Joe's score is definitely a real American 0. Meanwhile, here's this guy in his dumb little tank.
Tell dude not to blame himself, General Hawk. If we knew exactly what Cobra wanted from those two, we'd do a better job of keeping away from them.
Well, I take back everything I said about Sergeant Slaughter's vocal acuity. Also, it's possible the reason the Joes aren't doing so well is that General Hawk is kind of a dummy.
Take cover! It's Cobra!
Sergeant Slaughter, are you under attack?
If only we had some indication of what was happening over there. Oh well, he's probably fine. Meanwhile, Shipwreck's team actually makes a decent showing against Cobra guarding the underwater tomb of Alexander the Great. I mean, they still lose, but at least they fought competently until that happened. Probably because they had fucking Shipwreck in charge. Oh, and hey, it's the triumphant return of that sinister tooth doctor who calls himself Mindbender. Okay, so I ran out of synonyms for dentist. That doesn't mean I'm any less delighted by the presence of my new favorite character.
Maintain the perimeter while I penetrate Sun Tzu's coffin.
Ooh, sexy. While he penetrates, Sergeant Slaughter takes out a bunch of Cobra guys single-handedly because of course he does. But we do get another appearance of the new and improved Tomax and Zaymot, who were more willing to get their hands dirty in a fight and seem generally gleeful to be doing so. Just like in the last episode when they were making those dumb puns. I much prefer this version to the all-business Crimson Twins who are always giving Cobra Commander reasons why his stupid plans wouldn't work. They still do that pointless one guy gets punched and they both feel it thing though, which, as I have pointed out before, seems like nothing but downside to me. Mindbender completes his penetration and scurries off in his Cobra Tide Pod, but Sergeant Slaughter grabs on because of course he does. But my guy actually manages to fight him off. He loses Sun Tzu's DNA in the process, but I'd take that defeat if it meant I was literally the only guy in Cobra who managed to deliver a kick to this idiot's face. So now the Joes have one of the DNA devices.
This looks like one of those devices Duke and Flint described. My hunch is whatever Cobra's after is tied into this.
Seriously, General, I've seen Shipwreck's parrot work out a Cobra scheme faster than you. Naturally, Cobra Commander uses this single defeat to justify shutting down the whole Cobra Emperor program.
As of now, your little experiment is deader than disco! Come, Scrap Iron. Deader than disco. I like that. I could have been a great stand-up comedian.
Okay, maybe I was hasty when I called Mindbender my new favorite character. Cobra Commander still has the top spot, and let's be honest, he probably always will. My new second favorite character, sorry man, it's nothing personal, decides that he could easily find a substitute for Sun Tzu's DNA, and that substitute should be Sergeant Slaughter. Sure. Sun Tzu's tactics are still being studied 2,500 years after his death. I'm sure the guy whose only tactic involves hoarsely yelling at a guy and then throwing a chair at him is comparable. While Cobra goes after their final DNA target, Genghis Khan, Dr. Mindbender gets his lab ready. And it's exactly the sort of badass mad science lab you'd expect from this guy. If the show wanted to save money on backgrounds in the forthcoming season and just set every scene in this room, I'd be completely okay with that. Cobra Commander tries to enforce his earlier deader than disco proclamation, and is apparently surprised that everyone in Cobra still doesn't want to take orders from him. He manages to slink off with his dignity intact, such as it is, leaving Mindbender to grab up that last sample from Genghis Khan and capture Sergeant Slaughter for that dumb new part of the plan he just came up with. Will he succeed? Tune in tomorrow to find out, but I'm just gonna spoil it for you now. Yes, he does.